We got some breaking news, champs, and according to Michael Benson and TV Azteca, Canelo Alvarez is being urged to fight Jaime Munguia instead of JERMALL Charlo, because Haymond stated that he cannot guarantee the JERMALL Charlo for $35 million, but he can guarantee the Jaime Munguia fight for $35 million. Haymond also stated that the Jaime Munguia fight is a much bigger fight than the Charlo fight. He can also guarantee the Charlo fight, but not for $35 million. And this is the topic that we are going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding that notification bell. That way you never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding, ding. Okay champs, let's get started. Okay champs, so as we all know, the PBC was with Showtime, but Showtime decided to get out of the sport of boxing. So this left the PBC without a home. And to me, it was a real low blow to boxing, because I believe the PBC was one of the biggest boxing platforms that there was. It seemed like last year the PBC put on the best fights constantly, and they were all back to back. Don't get me wrong, there's other great platforms still, like Top Rank and Golden Boy, but it seems like the PBC was like Hot Wheels leading the way. And it's just sad to see Showtime leave boxing, because they've been in the game for over 37 years. But I truly believe they were not the biggest. They only became the biggest when HBO left the boxing scene. But HBO has been gone for almost a decade, and I still don't believe anybody did it like HBO. HBO was my favorite. Just the way they did the promotion and set up the fights, it was unmatched and unrivaled. And it's just sad to see Showtime leave, because that was the biggest platform that there was in boxing. So they left Haymond and the PBC trying to find a home where they can stream their fights. And the PBC, I believe, has the best talent. They have a lot of great fighters, but other platforms got really good fighters as well. But the good news is Haymond and the PBC found a home with Amazon Prime. That's the good news. The bad news is Showtime had a distribution deal and a budget. And the bad news is Amazon Prime only has a distribution deal and not a budget. So that makes it very hard for Amazon Prime and the PBC to guarantee big purses to professional boxers. So all the high-end athletes will have to depend on the back-end money from the gate and the pay-per-view sales. So Haymond tells Canelo Alvarez, if you still want to fight JERMALL Charlo on Cinco de Mayo weekend, we will not be able to guarantee you the $35 million. And Haymond gives him the other option. But if you fight Jaime Munguia on Cinco de Mayo weekend and let the Zone come in and help us with this promotion, then we can pay you the $35 million guaranteed for fighting Jaime Munguia, because this will be a lot bigger fight than JERMALL Charlo. So I believe this is what actually affecting the PBC, that there is no budget and just a distribution deal, so there's not enough money to go around. So they are willing to let other platforms help to pay for the purses, at least for their own boxers. And I know this is a new home, but I think this is a tactic from the PBC to do this at first, keep everything safe. Kind of like low risk, low reward, but safe reward. Because if the PBC decides to book Canelo versus Charlo, they will have to guarantee Canelo's purse and Charlo's purse. And I'm sure that will be a pretty penny. And this is kind of a double-edged sword for any situation for them. If they go the Munguia route, yes, they're going to have to pay $35 million to Canelo, and Golden Boy will have to pay Munguia, which I don't think they're gonna give Munguia $35 million to fight Canelo. They might give that guy only like $5, because Munguia is a superstar, but he is not as big as Canelo. Nobody is as big as Canelo. Yes, they will have to pay less money, but now they are going to have to split the profit. And if they put the event on the Zone platform, I'm sure they're gonna want 50-50, even though Canelo is the bigger star. And the Zone will kinda have the PBC by their junk. And if they go the JERMALL Charlo route, they will have to pay both of the boxers. But they are going to keep all of the profit from the gate and the pay-per-view numbers. And I still think it will do pretty well. But I think it will do just as good as the other Charlo, sober Charlo. But I'm pretty sure Haymond has been seeing how drunk Charlo has been acting lately. He's been going on shows and being all drunk and asking for money. You couldn't even understand him when he went onto the Ross show and he stated that he was bigger than Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. And he asked the host, how much are you gonna pay me? And he says that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia did it for free, just for the love. But Charlo stated he is a lot bigger than them and this interview will put his show on top. And Ross stated that they will talk about it after the show. But at least Charlo stated it's not gonna cost him an arm and a leg and he won't charge him a lot. But he does want something for his drunk services. And the PBC probably seen what the whole boxing world saw against sober Charlo. That fight was boring and not very entertaining. How do you think drunk Charlo will do? Because drunk Charlo just dropped a video of him still partying. I think he is still on vacation. He's probably still in Turks and Caicos. He was in a car-shaped boat in the ocean swimming. So they probably see he's not taking this very seriously. I know it's not confirmed, but he's in the talks for negotiations. But that's neither here or there. And Amazon Prime with the PBC has only 12 to 14 fights a year. So that is only around one event a month. So I think the PBC is doing these moves strategically. In the first year, they cannot afford to mess up, especially with no budget. So if they make the fight with Haymond Munguia versus Canelo on the Zone, they could save one date for their events. Because Canelo versus Charlo and Keith Thurman versus Zoo is already 2 events. I really think they should do it this way because the PBC has a lot of talent, a lot of good boxers that we don't want to see them waste. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he gave the PBC until this weekend to come up with a deal. If not, he will walk away. But I think Canelo is just gonna have to sit and wait because I doubt anybody could be able to afford to give him $35 million per fight unless he goes to Saudi Arabia. Unless he fights David Benavidez next, and that will solve all the PBC's problems because that fight will make a lot of money. Especially if the fight is good and they have a rematch clause, that will make a lot of money as well. Even if the fight is not good, I'll make a ton of conspiracy theories just to keep the PBC afloat. Who do you guys think Canelo will fight next? Drunk Charlo or Haymond Munguia? Comment below and I'll write to everyone back. If you guys like the show, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.